Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
Good morning, Americans. It's Friday.
It is.
We got there.
Doesn't feel like a Friday. Had a bit of a disaster on the way into work.
Yeah.
Flat tire I'm trying to deal with right now. So the phone may ring, okay, at any moment, because my roadside assistance person having a hard time finding the building, as everybody always does. I don't know why.
Huh.
People come here from there's some guy who drove here from Minnesota one time, upstate Minnesota. He found us perfectly fine
no
at
problem.
3 in the morning.
Yeah.
But roadside assistance, they can't find us.
He is not the only one that has arrived at this building from out of state.
I know. And they all find us just fine. But when you need somebody.
It's not a small building either.
No, it's like a series of buildings. We're the first one, and they still can't get it.
It's amazing. If I remember right, the word one is on the facing the road.
Yes.
So
Yes, it is.
Yeah, but it's confusing because the number 2 is on the door.
Oh, on the garage door, yeah.
You're going to have to just believe me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
On the door, yeah.
Yeah, but that's
2.
Yeah.
But so if
and
they're
they don't know
driving
that's just loading dock 2.
I don't try to confuse
It's not
them.
building 2.
I just say biggest building. It's complicated.
The big building. Look for us in between the fake Italian scene and the parking lot.
I just tweeted a picture of that the other day.
Did you?
Yeah.
I love
Because it's
that.
a creepy, faceless family standing on the balcony staring at you every morning.
Right.
I love that.
Yeah, I do too. I took a picture of it the other day because the moon was just over it, and it was so big.
That's what I took.
And so
That's
bright.
the picture I tweeted.
Oh, is it really?
Because it looked like the moon was sitting on top of that building. I was like, I have pulled up here every morning for years, and I've never seen it
so
at that
incredible,
spot.
so
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
But my picture didn't do it justice, so I didn't send it. But it was incredible. The moon has been amazing lately.
It has.
Last month was the big deal where it was the blue moon, and it was supposed to be the
Yeah, we had a
closest it
couple
ever
of them.
gets.
Yeah, we had
It looks just as close, if not closer now.
Yeah.
Did something happen where we're being sucked into the moon, or the moon's being sucked into the earth?
No, but
I'm here for it.
someone moved the sun away from Texas, which affected the way, or moved the sun away from Texas. Which
Not very
affected
far,
the
though,
way-
because it's still damn hot.
Which
Okay,
affected the way
I'm
the
tired
moon
of it. Can we stop with the 97 degrees in almost October?
It's not 115, so
I know that's true. That's true. So there you go. But it's a big day today. We've got the Agenda 21 thing to discuss, and we'll start next hour. Right in about an hour from now, we're going to talk to a guy about Agenda 21 or 30-30 or 20-30 or whatever
30,
they call it now.
30
for 30. 30 for 30.
by 2030.
International edition.
By 2030, yeah.
Right. Hard to believe we're already at the very end of September, isn't it? Seems like we were just playing this.
Everything wrong
Just starting.
It sure does.
Right? Doesn't it?
Yes.
come September.
So good. We've just started the month, and now it's over.
Maybe September.
It's like we just played it.
We just played it. And here it is. Tomorrow's the last day of September, heading into October and Halloween already. I noticed that Costco, is it Costco? Yeah, it's Costco that put out all their Christmas stuff on September 1st.
Yeah.
September 1st, everything was out Christmas-wise, and they just skipped past Halloween. They
had some Halloween stuff over
some
in the corner.
Halloween
yeah,
stuff.
they had some stuff over there in the corner. There's some stuff over there for you.
Skip Thanksgiving. Bye-bye. We're going directly to Christmas. And Sam's has a little bit of both.
Yeah, they do.
So I don't know if it's like that at every Sam's or every Costco.
I think it is. I think that's their
Crazy,
game plan.
yeah.
I think that's their game plan.
All right, let me see.
Go change a tire now, or
They've arrived.
okay.
Look for them. Well, I can't. So a little busy right now, but thank you. They did text. So I think they might have found the building. Congratulations. You know?
If you've ever had a text that you wanted to send to Pat and hope that he reads it, now's your chance. Because he's really looking at his phone right now.
I really am. Yes, I'm really paying attention right now. Because I don't want to come out there and see my tire still flat when I'm ready to go home. That pisses me off.
I know. It's like, oh, no.
All right. I guess that impeachment, the inquiry.
Is he out?
Is going on.
We get rid of him? We impeached him? He's done?
No.
No?
Not quite yet.
Okay.
We might have to wait till Monday on that.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'm sure they're going to get the job done, though. Right?
Well,
Am I right?
mean, they're working on that and the looming government shutdown.
Right. So we got the looming government shutdown. We've got the impeachment thing. We've got the Menendez situation. And Matt Gaetz was talking about Senator Bob Menendez yesterday.
And then somebody set this to music. See if you recognize this.
Good. Okay.
We are devaluing American money so rapidly that in America today, you can't even bribe Democrat senators with cash alone. You need to bring gold bars to get the job done, just so that the bribes hold value.
I mean, that's genius.
That really was.
That was epic.
Because that did sound like Jerry Seinfeld delivery, didn't it?
That was the opening of a Seinfeld episode.
You got to do a gold bar. That's good. I don't do it, Jerry Seinfeld, but that was nicely done. The GOP also made an ad illustrating just how angry Joe Biden gets when you dare ask him questions about he and his son's questionable business dealings. This is fun.
You said I set up my son to work in an oil company. Isn't that what you said? Get your words straight, Jack.
There's been no indication of any conflict of interest from Ukraine or anywhere else. Period. Let's focus on the problem. Focus on this man, what he's doing, that no president has ever done.
You're a damn liar, man.
That company wanted access to you.
Well, that's not true. You're saying things you do not know what you're talking about. No one said that. Who said that? Who said that? There is no conflict.
Everybody's saying it.
It's all a lie.
Old man. Wow. Dang. I can't with this guy.
I know.
I can't.
I know.
I just can't. He's the worst. He's absolutely.
And, he's the president. So if he were to confront you like that,
it's intimidating.
It is.
Nobody wants that.
Right.
None of the press want that. You want to stand there and get dressed down by the president of the United States? A tad intimidating.
Joe.
Especially when the press is on his side.
They're on his side, and they want continued access to him.
Right.
And if he gets too pissed off, he's going to deny you that. You're not going to get any more access to ask him anything.
Your whole network could be waiting for you. Hey, we got a call from the White House. Didn't appreciate the tough questions today.
Right. I mean, how likely is it's really likely?
Very likely,
that he would do that if you continue
if it hasn't
down that
already
road.
happened.
Yeah. I mean, it's despicable. And the press, that's their job, is to hold his feet to the fire.
Supposed to be.
But he sure doesn't act like it. He thinks their job is to glorify him. That's what he thinks.
Well, they've certainly done that.
And they've done a really good job up until now. I think some of them are starting to get tired of glorifying him because there's no glory there. There's only shame, embarrassment, despicable actions, evil, all oozing out of the executive office. And they're getting in the way of them doing their job. When the media is inconvenienced, then you're going to get their wrath, right? And that's starting to happen. So, House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries says there's no evidence against Joe Biden. So why even have an impeachment inquiry?
This illegitimate impeachment inquiry that is not going to yield a scintilla of evidence that President Biden engaged in any wrongdoing because
what are you worried about
there is no evidence
that
President Biden engaged in any wrongdoing.
Okay.
There is no evidence.
Okay.
But that's...
All right. It's the opposite of that, but thank you. Thanks for your input there, Hakeem. At the start of yesterday's impeachment inquiry, Chairman Jim Jordan laid out the case.
Oh.
Yeah, he might tell us about some of the evidence that there is.
And this is a tale as old as time. Politician takes action that makes money for his family, and then he tries to conceal it. Never forget 4 fundamental facts. Hunter Biden gets put on the board of Burisma. Gets paid a lot of money. Hunter Biden's not qualified, fact number 2, to sit on the board. Not my words, his words. He said he got on the board because of the brand, because of the name. Fact number 3, the executives at Burisma asked Hunter Biden to weigh in and help them with the pressure they are under from the prosecutor in Ukraine. Fact number 4, Joe Biden goes to Ukraine on December 9th, 2015, gives the speech attacking the prosecutor that starts the process of getting that guy fired. Those facts, by the way, are consistent with what the confidential human source told the FBI, and the FBI recorded in the 1023 form, the same form that the Justice Department didn't want to let this committee see. And all those facts, all of that was further confirmed yesterday with the information that the Ways and Means Committee released from the whistleblowers Shapley and Ziegler. Here's a communication from Hunter Biden to an executive with Burisma. Devin and I do feel comfortable with Blue Star strategies and the ability of Sally and Karen to deliver. Hunter Biden put Burisma in touch with Blue Star Strategies. What were they going to deliver? Well, that was in a communication released yesterday as well. U.S. officials in Ukraine and in the United States need to express support for Burisma and Nikolai Zlochevsky to the highest level decision makers, the president of Ukraine, the president's chief of staff, and the prosecutor general. That's what they were going to deliver. And were they successful? The interior minister confirmed that Zlochevsky is no longer wanted. We won in less than a year communications between the folks at Blue Star and Eric Sherwin, who was Hunter Biden's business partner. Awesome work. Congratulations to you guys. Those are the communications. That's what they got done. And remember, when this happens in October 2016, when the pressure is taken off, the case is dropped against Zlochevsky, this is the second prosecutor. Joe Biden fired the first one. The second prosecutor comes in, drops the charges. That's exactly what they wanted done. And the final step is the Biden Justice Department tries to sweep it all under the rug. They slow walk the investigation. They let the statute of limitations lapse for the most important years, 14 and 15, the Burisma years when all that income's coming in. They try to put together this sweetheart deal and get it past the judge. And we learned yesterday in the search warrant examining Hunter Biden's electronic communications, they weren't allowed to ask about political figure 1. Political figure number 1 is the big guy, is Joe Biden. And they would have gotten away with it all. They would have gotten away with it all except for 2 brave whistleblowers who sat in those seats 2 months ago and told their story. And their story has stood up. 2 brave whistleblowers and a judge in Delaware who said, we're not going to let this happen. That's why we're here today. That's why this inquiry is so darn important. It's the oldest story in the world, and those are the facts.
So, obviously, they got nothing.
Nothing.
They had nothing.
Nothing.
So did that qualify as a scintilla?
No, it didn't. That's not even a scintilla of information right there.
Okay.
That's great.
Maybe it's a scintilla in Keith math, but not in real life. Okay.
I mean, do you have Joe Biden holding the gun and the gun is still smoking? No, not yet. But, I mean, you've got everything else. This looks like it leads right to him. Can they prove that positively right this second? I don't know. Maybe not. But we'll see. There's certainly enough to look into this.
Yes.
To do the inquiry. There's certainly enough to start impeachment process. There's way more than enough on that. Plus, there's so many other things that this guy has done that are just high crimes and misdemeanors. He's destroying this country. And can you be impeached for wantonly destroying the country?
I would like to say yes to that.
I'd like to say yes to that as well. Also, Nancy Mace presented a little bit of the case as well.
Today, we're going to bring the facts. Today, we are going to bring the evidence. In 2017, the Joe Biden family teamed up with Chinese company CEFC to make millions off of granting access to Joe Biden. Hunter even arranged for Joe Biden to share office space with the CCP-aligned company CEFC. My Democrat colleagues say none of this is relevant because Joe Biden wasn't vice president while his family did these shady deals. Turns out that's complete and total. It's a lie. Hunter Biden referred to access to his father as the keys to his family's only asset. Those words are going to come back and haunt Hunter Biden and his family forever. Yesterday, the Ways and Means Committee released an FBI memo on the interview they had with Tony Bobulinski, a former Biden partner in crime. I'll read a bit of that right now. Okay. The work conducted by CEFC, Gilliar, Walker, Hunter Biden, James Biden, and Yee over the preceding 2 years was discussed in detail. In particular, CEFC was closing significant investment deals in Poland, Kazakhstan, Romania, Oman, and the Middle East during this period of time. Period of time is in reference to the years 2015 and 2016, when guess what? Joe Biden was vice president. As an aside, Rob Walker, in previous testimony, also confirmed that Joe Biden attended a meeting with the head of CEFC. So now we know CEFC was working with the Biden family while Joe Biden was vice president. And I'll continue reading from Tony Bobulinski's report, which says, and I quote, Bobulinski, Hunter Biden and James Biden did not receive compensation because Joe Biden was still vice president during this time period. There is a concern it would be improper for payments to be made to Hunter Biden and James Biden by CEFC due to its close affiliation with the Chinese government. Hunter Biden and James Biden both wanted to be compensated for the assistance they had provided to CEFC's ventures. In particular, they believe CEFC owed them money for the benefits that accrued to CEFC through its use of the Biden family name to advance their business dealings. The Bidens, coincidentally, were paid over $1 million by CCP-affiliated Chinese company CEFC shortly after Joe Biden left office as vice president. Now we know why, because it was back pay. Oh. I'm going to show another image. This is a text message between Hunter Biden and Gong Wendong, an agent of CEFC.
I do.
Hunter says, my uncle will be here with his brother in all caps.
Also known as
Kevin.
Kevin.
To say hello to the chairman.
Pause it for a second. That's priceless right there. We should spend some time with that. Put it back up if you would.
Yes, absolutely.
Gong Wendong, also known as Kevin.
That's awesome.
That's great.
That's his name tag at the store.
Yeah, Kevin. I'm Kevin. It's like those telemarketers or
yes.
Hi, my name is being Kebab.
Is it? Really?
Yes.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Your name is Bob?
Yes.
Where are you from?
Yes, it is.
Bob?
From Idaho.
Mumbai.
Oh, okay. No, they never say they're from Mumbai.
No, they never do.
Because then you want to ask for a supervisor or somebody that you can talk to that you can understand. Yeah.
Okay.
And they don't want that.
Okay, Bob. I've got 4 questions for you. You can't ask anyone for help.
Yeah, right. All right, let's hear the rest of this from Nancy.
Like to say hello to the chairman. He goes on, Jim's brother, if he's coming, wants to say hello. His uncle's brother. I wonder who that could be. I can't quite figure it out. Hunter puts brother in all caps, and it doesn't take a genius to figure this out, but since I'm not always dealing with geniuses, and Washington, D.C. has been illustrated today, I'll spell it out.
Nice.
The brother of Hunter's uncle, Jim, is Joe Biden.
Joe Biden?
Why was Hunter so secretive about his father? I'm going to tell you why. It's because Joe Biden didn't want the American people to know he and his family were getting paid millions and millions of dollars from a company closely tied to the Chinese Communist Party. CEFC knew paying Biden family members was bad, so they covered it up.
Okay.
Hunter knew Joe Biden hanging out with CCP businessmen would be a bad look, so he tried to pull a genius move on us with this whole my uncle's brother.
And he was just meeting with Kevin.
Right. I mean,
AKA.
How could meeting with Kevin be a bad thing? Right? Kevin from Pocatello.
Let's call him Kevin.
He's from Pocatello, Kevin is. So, that's great.
Did that guy just call you Guang Guan? No.
No, he did not. That's Guang Weng Dan is not my name.
No idea what you're talking about.
He called me Bob.
Good stuff. Good. It's so good. And we're supposed to believe that this leads nowhere. This is a dead end. Wow. Okay, now let's play a little game here because Democrat Representative Max Frost says Joe's only guilty of one thing. Now, don't play it just yet because I want us to all guess what that one thing is. I'm going to say loving his son. I have not heard this clip yet. So what would you guess?
I have not heard this clip.
He's only guilty of one thing.
But I did hear another clip from another Democrat who is, in fact, from Texas, here in Dallas and Tarrant counties. What's her? Jasmine something.
Yeah, we got that clip coming.
Okay, cool.
Stand by.
All right. So, and she is what you're guessing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
maybe this one isn't.
I guess I don't know. I have not heard this.
But Keith, you already know, right? You put it in there, so it's senseless to ask you what you think it is.
I'm just waiting for the big reveal.
Do you already know?
I do not know.
Okay, what do you think it is? Joe Biden is only guilty of one thing, according to Max Frost.
Love and democracy.
Okay, all right.
He said one thing,
love
bro.
and democracy.
That's true.
Yeah.
Democracy.
Is it a love of democracy? Because that would be one thing.
Okay,
But
there you go.
here we go. Okay.
This entire fake impeachment inquiry isn't about the United States. It's about Hunter Biden. And the only thing the president can be guilty of here is being a father.
Being a father. I was right. I got it.
Not a loving one, though.
Put a still shot of that.
I know. Look at that.
Because somebody pointed this out, because I didn't get to watch a lot of this stuff in real time. But whenever a Democrat would speak,
they had the shutdown on.
They had the little laptop, the countdown. Republican shut down in 2 days, 10 hours, 23 minutes, and 39 seconds.
You gotta be kidding me.
So now to your point on Jasmine Crockett.
Help me.
Of course, the clock, I believe, appears in her shot as well. Do you have any guesses where she's going to go in the defense of Joe Biden?
I'm going to say the loving father thing.
We're going to double down on loving father.
Loving father.
Let's see what happens here.
All right.
Okay.
On because he's got 91 counts pending right now. But I will tell you what the president has been guilty of. He has unfortunately been guilty of loving his child unconditionally, and that is the only evidence that they have brought forward. And honestly, I hope and pray that my parents love me half as much as he loves his child. Until they find some evidence, we need to get back to the people's work, which means keeping this government open so that people don't go hungry in the streets of the United States. And I will yield.
That's already happening, hon. It's already happening.
In fact, it's happening.
Poor parents
in your area.
Yeah, walk outside your gilded halls and take a look around you. It's already happening.
She knows what microphones do, right?
That they amplify voice.
Right.
She didn't seem to have that knowledge. No, she didn't seem to. But wow.
I hope did her parents call her after that and be like, we don't.
We do
not.
Yeah,
love
that's
you.
what they called it. Said we do, just to clear this up, okay? Because we don't want there to be any misunderstandings. We don't love you half as much as Joe loves his. Okay, you're too much of a loudmouth. All right.
You were always the annoying child. I'll have you know.
Oh man. So, that's fun. That's fun.
It's fun, right?
Democrats. I mean, geez. We should get them to answer the question. All right, if this stuff is true, does it matter? Because it's going to turn out to be true. Does it matter to you people? Well, of course it, because that's the question we didn't ask about Bill Clinton to the Democrats.
I didn't do any of this. This is right-wing hysteria. They're cooking this up. Blah, blah, blah.
Okay, well, if it is true, does it matter? And then when it was found out that it was all true,
well, it doesn't matter. That's his private life. We don't care about any of that.
Okay, well, let's pin him down this time. If any of this is true, should he get out of office? Will you support his impeachment and the removal of this man from the executive office? Let's pin him down there.
I'm not good enough with just that, though. I want the man behind bars.
No, he should. Yes.
Wow.
But the first step is to get him out
I agree.
of the Oval Office. Because,
by the way, Jeffy, I realized that Jasmine Crockett was South Dallas County.
I think she's part of this here, right?
No.
Oh, okay.
But I didn't realize that's your downtown Dallas, that's your city of Dallas representative right there.
Congratulations.
And some of Tarrant County, too, I believe, right?
It doesn't look like it.
Okay. It's not what it said on her website, but okay.
I know she's not my rep.
It looks like a sliver of Tarrant County, which is the Fort Worth side. So
okay. Anyway, well, I mean, it's right here.
My people vote Republican.
No, I think Beth Van Dunn is this district. Former mayor of Irving.
Van Dyne.
Here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. She's done a good job.
Yeah, she has.
I like her. So it's nice to have her in office. And she just came from mayor of Irving.
Right.
Became a U.S. representative. That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's good. Cardi B appeared on the show Hot Ones.
All right.
Where she ended up talking about history.
Something else.
Check this out.
That's where they eat wings, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
What stays in my mind for a long time is that I went to FDR's house.
Okay.
If anybody loves me, know me, I love FDR.
You love FDR?
Yes, and I love Eleanor Roosevelt.
Why?
And you know how he got us through the Great Depression.
They got to pause it for a second.
I love those earrings, too. Those earrings are happening.
I know how he got us through the Great Depression.
Really?
So much so, he loved the Great Depression so much, he made it about 11 years longer than it otherwise should have been. That's how much he loved the Great Depression.
He got us through it, though.
Yeah, eventually. Eventually, he didn't, but eventually we did get through it.
I try to predict your reaction, Pat, to clips that I send in. I didn't know that you would stop it there.
Really?
I actually just thought you would be amazed that Cardi B knew history at all.
Yeah, that blows me away. That part does surprise me. However, this love of FDR.
No, it makes sense, right?
Oh, can we stop with that? He didn't get us through the Depression.
No.
He elongated it.
Yeah, he made it worse.
In the rest of the world, they don't call it, Nancy Pelosi, they don't call it the Great Depression. Why? It wasn't that great in other places. Great meaning long in this particular case. It was just a short depression in other places, but because of everything FDR did, we had to suffer all the way through the 30s, into the 40s, and only our manufacturing for World War II lifted us out of the Great Depression. I mean, that's why they were rationing clothes and tires and gas and food all through even at the beginning of the war, they had to do that stuff. Ever seen It's a Wonderful Life? They talk about the rationing and
my grandfather would take his gas rations and trade them for food rations in the city.
Wow. See, yeah. I mean,
I was trying to wheel
in America.
Right.
People forget that happened. Those were bad times. That's why so many of our parents, if you're a baby boomer, and I guess I was just in the last throes of the baby boom, but if you're a baby boomer, your parents went through that and you heard about it all the time. And you heard about it all the time because it was so significant in their lives.
Yeah.
It shaped everything they did and believed. And they didn't want it to ever happen again. So they tried to take actions that would prevent that from ever happening again. All right, let's see the rest of this. Do we have time for this? All right, let's see it.
Only president that got elected 4 times while he's in a wheelchair. As I grew up reading a lot about Eleanor Roosevelt.
Right.
She had a very sad life. And when I went to her house, well, she had different house from her husband because FDR mama, she was always around, and she didn't really like that. Eleanor wanted her space, just like me. I want my own space all the time. I saw the room where Churchill and FDR was talking about the nuke. That is crazy to me. I'm really here. I don't know why. I'm obsessed with war.
The art of war. I could hear it with the aliens. Yes. It's in you.
I'm obsessed with World War II. I love World War I. I like reading about that. But World War II, I'm obsessed with just learning everything about it. So for me to be in the same room that Churchill and FDR was discussing the nuke, it's
it's so weird.
It was just such a moment for me. Y'all probably think I'm crazy, but it was just
that way.
I do want to see how she eats the wings with those fingernails.
I don't know.
Wow. Now we're
Brilliant. Wow. Wow.
I
So
just
can't argue with that.
I mean, you don't wake up
That's
and
awesome.
think, man, today I'm going to see a clip of Cardi B getting heavy into World War II talk.
Yeah.
She just loves it. And the nuke.
She loves it. Oh, that's great. The nuke. Who doesn't love the nuke?
I want her to write an entire album with just FDR and Churchill.
It's coming.
Yeah.
It's coming.
More coming up.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
Great to have you with us. Don't forget our Agenda 21 discussion coming up in a few minutes. Not a conspiracy theory. That's why we need a different name for this, for these Friday shows at the end of the month, because there's no conspiracy about it. Well, they are conspiring against us. So from that aspect, it is a conspiracy. But from it being a theory, I mean, it's not.
It's a Free Think Friday.
Yeah. That's a good way.
Jeffy
to put
doesn't like
no,
that?
you don't like Free Think Friday. What do you like?
I don't know.
Free Thought Friday.
know.
Free Thought Friday. How about that one?
I don't know. But conspiracies I like. I like the sound
Okay, hold
of
on. Let's try.
conspiracies.
Let me test this one out, Pat. Free Food Friday. Are you on board now, Jeffy?
I'm always a fan of that, but that doesn't necessarily mean it needs to be the title of the thing.
We'll call it Free Food Friday. So
And it'll be food for thought, which he would be opposed to, I'm guessing. Right? Would you be opposed to? Because you want actual food, if I'm not
You
mistaken.
can't eat that, Jeffy. Sorry.
I thought there was no.
What? No, there isn't.
Anyway.
There isn't what?
Yeah, you got to be
What are you
specific. Don't fill it. Don't finish his thought for him.
No, I'm not going to now.
Okay.
I'm not going
Yeah,
to.
what are you alluding to? You were getting to
what
something
am I
there.
alluding to?
Okay, I don't know.
He doesn't even know what
He
he's
doesn't
alluding
even
to.
know he's
asking
us.
you
What the hell?
he's alluding to. That's
Problem
weird.
over there,
That's
dude.
just weird, Jeffy. You okay this morning? You having a stroke?
Man.
No, he's all right. He's okay.
Your tire.
I'm
Okay.
fine right
Your
now.
tires are good, by the way.
Yeah, the guy fixed it. He fixed it, and we're all set.
We're good to go.
You're good to go.
Awesome.
That's good.
Yeah, I like that. Anyway, from Jimmy Dimples, we have this tweet or X tweet. Do you know that X was the company we formerly knew as Twitter? I just want to.
Is that
I
right?
didn't want you to be confused. You know, what's this X on my screen now? That used to be Twitter, but
I
we
will
don't
say
call
I
it
did
that
read
anymore.
a story yesterday that just said X.
I did too.
Really? Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, especially if you use it, you know.
So it's fine. I mean, it's finally starting to.
Yeah.
They still say formerly Twitter in many stories, but it's finally breaking through that.
You know,
we got it.
Right.
The Commanders are still the Redskins to me. X is still Twitter to me.
Mm-hmm. I know, and that's why we mostly refer to it as Twitter, because, I mean, it's part of the lexicon now.
Right.
Jimmy Dimples tweets X's, X tweets. I don't know. Getting on Biden's crap list would be a badge of honor, in my humble opinion.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Although you have a job to do, and that doesn't help you do it.
No, it does not.
Chicken Too Tasty says, now we know why Vivek hasn't been on the show. He can't find the building. Which wouldn't seem to apply to a Zoom call.
Yeah, don't
or
provide
a phone
cover for it.
call, you know, but Anthony Osh, maybe when Jeffy was stuck between the moon and New York City, he caused some realignment that makes the moon look closer. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a good theory.
Maybe.
We're getting it.
Good theory. I like it. Paco D, impeachment, just waiting to see how the Republicans screw this up.
Yeah.
And they probably will. Monger of hate, monkeys will fly out my ass before any congressional hearing leads to prosecution and jail time.
Yeah, no kidding.
Pace shock, it's sad that party politics is all that matters to Congress rather than doing what's best for the U.S. If someone is corrupt, get rid of him regardless of his party. Yep. Oh, and not just corrupt. If they're, if they're diminished in their mental capacity, get rid of them then. Mitch McConnell.
Seems like common sense.
May I mention Mitch McConnell should be going. He should be gone. And so, yeah, we don't care about the party affiliation that much. I don't even like Republicans that much. It just so happens that some of them align better with my value system than Democrats do, but it doesn't give me any great abiding love for this party because they screw up so much of the time. And they do nothing so much of the time. Joe's Kitchen Fire? Oh, Joe's Kitchen Fire has a website. That's
Nice.
good. Or at least a Twitter handle. Listening with my parents today, and they laughed way too hard at that whole "we don't love you that much" bit.
I hope things are better at your house than they are at Representative Crockett's house.
Yeah, no, I hope so too. Let's see. Yesterday, we got this. 18 House Republicans voted against an amendment that would have defunded drag shows. Here's what we're just talking about. Okay, so 18 Republicans voted against an amendment that would have defunded drag shows and Pride Month events at the Defense Department.
However, Republicans, 117 of them did vote to continue funding Ukraine. $300 million. They did strip that out, by the way.
117?
And then it passed with the help of many, many Republicans.
Sure did.
Wow.
So now we've got 18 that prevented defunding of drag shows at Air Force and military bases.
I don't understand that.
Which originally we heard wasn't happening at all. Right?
Yeah, we did
That's
hear
the
that.
original take, right?
Right. Which was obviously a lie. But those Republicans are Buck Calvert, Chavez DeRemer, Curtis Desposito, Duarte, Fitzpatrick, Garbarino, Tony Gonzalez, Joyce of Ohio, Keene from New Jersey, Kiley, LaLota, Lawler, Mace, Nancy Mace?
Isn't that weird?
Nancy Mace voted against? I don't know why. That's
Is there something else in it?
Molinaro, Obernolte, and Steele all voted against putting a stop to the drag shows on military bases. I don't know. That's a good question. Was there something else involved there that they couldn't vote yes on? I don't know.
I don't know the answer to the question,
I
but
don't either.
it seems weird that they would.
We should look into the answer because that could explain why somebody like Nancy Mace voted against it, but I don't know. All right.
Maybe she likes drag shows. Who knows?
It's possible.
Maybe she does.
Does she like them for military bases, though? I mean, I don't care if you like drag shows or whatever, but should they be included on our military bases?
They are fun.
Are they fun?
Yeah, they are fun.
How many you been to?
3.
Chris? 3. You been to? Was that with Sarah Gonzalez?
4. Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
But you've been to 3 just of your own free will?
My own free will. Yeah, right here in Dallas.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
I mean,
that's one word for it. Cool.
Why?
Wait a minute.
What? Are you a big drag show fan as well?
You can't drag me away from drag
Can't drag you away from a drag show.
I mean, you can't drag Jeffy away from fill in the blank.
That's true. It's true. Does anybody support drag shows more than you?
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah, probably.
All right. So you can't make that claim.
I can't make that claim.
Nobody supports drag shows more than me.
Well, he is a RuPaul fan, so.
Do you like RuPaul?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Who doesn't? I mean, I got all of his stuff at home.
You do?
Yeah.
His stuff?
Even the wig? Because he has a pretty
Yeah.
nice wig.
Very nice wig.
He has a great wig collection.
Yeah.
Right?
Now RuPaul doesn't even identify as a she, does he?
No.
Like I'm a male.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
Which is, I think, why people like him.
Yeah.
Because he's profiting.
Yeah.
And he's just, hey, I just like to dress up as a girl.
Yeah. And he makes no bones about it. I mean, RuPaul's been around for a really long time.
but he laid the groundwork for these people, man. He was the forefront of this battle.
He's the grandfather of the drag.
He's the goat
show
of the drag
thing. Yeah. So that's fun. Let me tell you about a breakfast cereal you must try, and it's a Magic Spoon.
Yeah. You can't find the box because you've eaten it all.
Yes, that's true.
I see you looking over there.
Not only did I eat the all of the cereal, but I ate all of these too.
The treats.
I don't even know that those are available yet.
These are they not?
As of today, they are.
As of today,
as
they
of
are?
today, you can get these
Nice.
too. Oh my gosh, I
They're
ate
worth
both
it.
boxes of these, and I've got diabetes, so I can't eat things that would kill me.
You
frankly.
may not have eaten every one out of those boxes.
Yeah, you may have stolen some of them, but the total carbs. So in order to get the net carbs, you subtract the fiber from the total carbs. So it's got total carbs 17 grams, but net fiber 8 grams. So that's only, do the math, 9 net carbs in these things. They're absolutely delicious.
Yeah, they are.
And so is the Magic Spoon cereal. This happens to be the frosted Magic Spoon.
Nice, yeah.
Which you might recognize as maybe being a frosted cereal you ate as a kid.
What's he riding there? Is that like a giant rabbit? Hold it up to the camera. What do you think that is?
I guess.
What do you think that is?
I don't know.
He's riding something. Yeah. Is that a dog?
That's a rabbit.
It's a rabbit.
It's a rabbit.
How do you ride a rabbit?
Silly rabbit.
Okay.
Like he's doing.
My bad.
You hop on.
But look at this. Right on the front, 0 total carbs. I mean, total sugars. Okay, 0 grams of total sugar. 4 net carbs. 13 grams of protein in these. So
wow.
You grew up and you don't want that cereal that you used to eat as a kid. Well, now your cereal just grew up too with Magic Spoon. So good.
That's a good line.
So good.
I like that.
Your cereal just grew up. Go to magicspoon.com/unleashed and get a custom bundle of cereal and try the magic for yourself. Don't forget to add their brand new marshmallow and chocolatey peanut butter treats. They won't last long in your house, I promise you that.
Will not.
Remember, get your next delicious bowl of cereal, magicspoon.com/unleashed. Use the promo code unleashed and save $5 off. magicspoon.com/unleashed.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
So, public school in America, not the easiest place to be a part of these days. This video has been going around on the interwebs. It's tough to watch, but a biological male dressed as a girl attacks an actual girl in an Oregon middle school.
State of our schools, right here.
Look at this. Oh gosh. Oh.
Oh, God.
Do we know what started that?
No, but in the beginning of that,
it
cut off.
cuts off. It didn't play the very beginning.
It shows the attacker.
Dang it!
Just drags her down from behind,
her down
off of
from
the
behind,
from her backpack. I mean that's a great illustration of where our Lord of the Flies public school system nationwide.
So bad. It's
happening every day.
But if she had a problem with it, maybe we can get her some therapy.
There you go.
Let's get the victim some therapy. Yeah, because maybe she had some thoughts that person wasn't an actual girl. I don't know, but
possible.
It's possible.
But
so we should get her some therapy.
Absolutely.
This is despicable. I don't understand how we're letting this slide. If there's any hope for saving this country, though, it's from moms like the one who showed up at a school board meeting in North Carolina.
Well, parents have to do something, right? They have to.
And this one did. Here's what she said.
Hello, everyone. I've been coming here for 5 years now, and I was going to talk to you about some practical things that I thought you could change about 3210, but I've changed my mind. I've been really confused over the last 5 years as to why we spend 45 minutes to an hour of every public meeting talking about how great everyone is and how great everything is in the schools, and now I've figured it out. I figured it out because all these people came here to defend you all from hurtful words. This is obnoxious. Let me just say, there is one goal for the educational system. It should be to prepare children to enter careers to be productive members of society. It is not a counseling session. It is not a self-help area. It is not somewhere to find yourself, and we should not be led by the children, for goodness sake. The children are called dependents for a reason. They depend on us who have fully developed brains. You cannot feel your way through life. The issues that we are talking about, we are bringing you statistics. We are talking about scholastics. We are talking about funding. We are talking about busing. We are talking about trying to figure out how to make our children be as successful as possible. And I am sure that that is your goal. And what we have been called tonight is what they're claiming that we're saying to children. We're having an adult conversation. There are not children in this room. We aren't going into the schools and calling them names. They call us Marxists and hateful and bigots and everything else under the sun. Well, let me tell you, less than 5% of the entire population of North Carolina identifies as LGBTQ. You guys all claim you want democracy. Well, you know what democracy is? It's the majority plus one. It's 50 plus one. You know what? More than 50% of the people in this state claim that they believe in God, Almighty God, who made us male and female, God who made marriage between a man and a woman, God who said that we must protect our children. The fact that we can stand up here and we know, we can brag about all of the wonderful graduations, but we know the statistics. 50% of children did not pass their end of grade tests. What are we celebrating? We have children coming up here telling us how horrible the mental health crisis is. Why? Most of us went to public school, and all of our peers are not in mental health crises. We have to ask ourselves, what are we doing to our children? I'm going to say we are discussing things with them that they are not emotionally, intellectually, and morally able to handle. That is what is causing the anxiety. That is what is causing the depression. That is what is causing the confusion. We need our children to be able to be children, to be able to be innocent, to be able to enjoy childhood and not know all of the drama and all of the difficulties in adult life. That is what we want. We want our children to be able to read and write and to think for themselves, and we demand that the children who fear God are protected in your schools.
Wow.
That was awesome.
Start to finish. Brilliant.
Every parent needs to be doing that in school board meetings. And isn't that the room that the guy who would go on to become the lieutenant governor, Mark Robinson, isn't that where he started? It was at Wake County, because that's Wake County.
Oh, that's very possible, yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe she has a future in politics.
Maybe.
With speeches like that.
Wow. That was powerful. Really powerful. And off the cuff, right? That just came from her heart. Holy cow, that's amazing. And then, of course, the ding goes off, the buzzer, your time's up, and that's all they care about.
Time's up.
Nobody's got any comment other than your time's up. Beat it. I can't.
Mary, you're up next.
Uh-huh.
What do you got?
Hey, well, can we get somebody, who's just an echo chamber for us?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, thank you. Next.
I want to talk about the thickness of the paper. I didn't finish.
I want to talk about how discriminatory it is for transgender girls not to be able to go to the girls' bathroom. Yeah, well, that's not the case here. Of course, we allow that. And if any of the actual biological girls have a problem, we'll get them some help.
Get them some therapy.
Yeah, we'll get them therapy. Wow. All right, well, we've got...
she was awesome.
She was fantastic, yes. We've got some interesting information for you coming up. We're going to be discussing Agenda 21. Well, it used to be called that. Now it's called 30 for 30 or 30 by 30.
30 by 30
or
by
the
2030
2030 initiative. Next.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
Pat Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
Good morning, American. It's Friday.
And it's one of our Freaky Fridays where we talk about things that, we don't discuss the rest of the month. So end of the month on Friday, we like to talk about things that a little maybe off the beaten path. This is something, though, we've discussed many times, and especially on Glenn's show. We've talked about Agenda 21 and what's going on with the UN and their plans for us and the rest of the world. Frankly, I don't care that much about the rest of the world, what they got planned for them. I do care about what they've got planned for us.
Yes, thank you.
And it's not good.
No, it is not.
It's not good.
And we've heard that what we see in the rest of the world is definitely coming across the waters to us.
Oh, yeah. And we're amplifying it all.
Yeah.
We're pushing it faster and further than even Europe in many, many cases. We just watched a really good documentary about this that was done by Epoch Times, Roman Balmakov, and
that was great.
It was really good. Really good. We've got Roman joining us today. Roman, welcome to The Blaze.
We do not have audio from Roman.
And by the way,
let's work on getting
squared away.
audio.
The name of the film is No Farmers, No Food, and highly recommend that. You're going to learn a lot.
Roman, welcome to The Blaze. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
So first of all, can you explain to us Agenda 21 or 30 by 30 or 2030 or whatever they're calling it now? Tell us what exactly that is for those who have not heard of this yet.
You know, what the way you just said it is exactly why I feel like so many people look at this as like a black box that they don't even want to approach. So many acronyms, so many different ways to look at it, so many different ways to call it. People just throw their hands up in the air and go, "All right, I don't even want to explore what's happening here."
Right.
But basically, what we uncovered was that Agenda 21. So Agenda 21 is the UN's plan for the next 100 years, for the 21st century. And that plan of theirs, just like the Soviet Union, they would break up their plans into little chunks. The United Nations breaks up their plan into 15-year chunks. So the first 15 years was the Millennium Development Goals. That was the first 15 years. And currently we're in Agenda 2030. So 2030 is the second 15-year goal. It goes up until the year 2030. And essentially, it's a very comprehensive plan that includes 17 sustainable development goals, things like ending poverty, fixing the water supply issues, gender equality, things like that. And then they dig down deeper into specific targets. And the problem with it is that in order to essentially save the planet, you need to micromanage people's lives. And that's what they're actually doing. They're implementing these policies around the world as concrete government laws, or sometimes they use the laws on the books to get done what they want done. And so we're able to travel the world and sort of uncover this plot of theirs, specifically in the realm of agriculture, because they say that, you know, if you've ever listened to John Kerry fly around on his plane throughout the world, he makes a special point to mention that agriculture contributes something like 33% of the greenhouse gas emissions. But ironically, in his speeches, he never mentions that agriculture also contributes 100% of the food. So you can decide for yourself what that means.
Right.
But yeah, so we're able to uncover sort of how these policies specifically manifest in countries around the world, how they handcuff farmers, and as farmers are getting expropriated of their land, how at the same time it's propping up this edible insect industry to make up for the loss of protein.
What I think might surprise some people is when this began, because I think a lot of people are under the impression that this is a new thing and they're just starting the wheels turning. Tell us when this actually started. When did this plan develop?
Well, it depends on what you mean by the plan. I mean, Agenda 21 began at the start of the 21st century. With I believe it was first really codified here in the U.S. in 1992. There's a famous clip we used in the documentary.
1992. Yeah, amazing.
There's a clip of we used in the documentary of Nancy Pelosi when she still was very young, right there in Congress, introducing Agenda 21. So it's a very comprehensive document that goes far back. And one other thing I want to mention regarding it is that I feel like many people, like once a year, they look at their phone and they're like, they see the Twitter feed of the World Economic Forum meeting or the UN meeting, and they see the compilations, and they go, wow, that's crazy. These, globalists want microchips in our heads. They want our credit cards to track our carbon footprint, et cetera. They look at that and they go, well, that's crazy. They put their phone down and go back to their ordinary lives. But behind the scenes, there are real groups, organizations, there are treatises and coalitions between different cities and different governments that are really implementing this stuff. It's not just like something you see and it's like it lives on Twitter. It really, really is getting implemented in your local water board, in your county level, in the state legislature, in countries around the world.
And who is leading this effort? Who's behind it all? That's
a phenomenal question. It's we never got to that point. Well, who's fundamentally behind it all? What we did find was that it seems to have taken this kind of like circular route where from the top, it trickles down this ideology of environmentalism. And then it has a grassroots support so that people actually push it up from the bottom. There's an organization called ICLEI, which I always mess up this acronym. It stands for the International Coalition of Local Environmental Initiatives. And basically, they have their meetings alongside the UN. So when the UN has their public-facing meetings, they talk about all the things they're going to do, they disperse. But ICLEI is the organization that actually goes back to the local level, to the water boards, to the county levels, and gets this stuff implemented.
Interesting.
So that's sort of what we discovered.
Wow.
Yeah.
So one of the big things that you highlight in the documentary is about our food supply. As you mentioned, agriculture is the enemy here to these people. It's the demon that they have to get rid of. And so they want our food supply to change dramatically. They want us to eat bugs. Can you explain that? And what? I mean, we've been noticing that
they've been laying the groundwork for that for years. I mean, yes. I've made a point throughout the last, 10, 15 years, every 3 to 6 months would be another pro-bug story. And it was just propaganda. There it is again. They want us to eat bugs, how good bugs are. And you laid it out pretty well that that's exactly what they were doing.
Yeah. It's funny that you've been making a note of that for the past 10 years because there was a UN document back in 2013.
There you go.
So exactly 10 years ago, it was called Edible Bugs. And this was before, like now, people are kind of aware of it. They're like, what's going on with these bug things? Every once in a while it trends on Twitter or, there's kind of articles exposing this topic. But 10 years ago, there was like no talk of edible bugs. But yet the UN put out this document saying, hey, we're probably going to have to switch to a bug-based agriculture sector in order to save the planet. And part of that document, again, 10 years ago in 2013, your viewers can look it up. It's called Edible Insects 2013 UN document. They can Google it. It talked about how the public is not ready to eat the bugs. And so one of the solutions to get over that is to get the mainstream media on board and to get celebrities eating the bugs, which is just kind of interesting now. 10 years later, we're starting to see a lot of celebrities going on media to eat the bugs. It's funny how
we are.
Isn't that funny how sometimes these like grassroots things, you can kind of trace them back to this kind of centralized plan.
Yes.
But in the course of our documentary, it was funny because we didn't initially have the idea to explore the bug issue. We were looking at the farmers who were protesting, and they were protesting not macroeconomic issues. They were not protesting the war in Ukraine, which was kind of squeezing the food supply. They were protesting their own governments, which were handcuffing them. That's what we found. And so when we were driving around the Netherlands and asking farmers like what was happening to them, what it means to them,
scary.
That 40% of them were going to lose their farms. Some of them began to say that they heard murmurings of farmers moving into insect farming, vertical insect farming, just because they were no longer able to do cattle farming.
Trying to make a living, yeah.
Wow.
Exactly. People need to live. People need to eat. And so we began to pull at that thread, and it's true. It's happening. People are moving into this sector. The EU is kind of sort of clearing the regulatory framework for it. They just approved 2 species of insects as quote unquote safe.
Right.
Also, I'm sure many of your listeners are here in America. It's happening here in America too. There's the world's largest bug processing plant is opening up in Illinois. It's going online in 2025. So, another plant is opening up in Canada. So it's not, don't think of it as like some weird European thing that they're doing over there. It's coming here to the U.S. as well.
Already okaying it in a lot of our bread products and everything. Like, that's fine.
Well, you can have a certain amount of bugs.
Yeah.
In certain products.
Yeah.
Correct.
Well, I think that's a separate issue.
Yes, it is.
Yes,
it is.
Yes.
It's just funny because in that sector, the FDA treats it as like essentially as like dirt or things that you want in the food. On this side, it's the opposite. But also, I want to mention that like it's not even that necessarily like in the documentary, we're not necessarily against bugs because like if you go to Whole Foods right now, you can buy cricket powder, right? You can buy chips made from from bugs already. The problem is the more the agenda that they're pushing people, not giving them a choice,
Right.
and pushing people such that maybe 5 years from now you go to the store and hamburger patties are like $57 a pound, but the cricket patties $4 a pound, and people are like, well, let me feed my family.
Right.
Yeah, and I mean, we don't even know long-term health effects of consuming insects either.
Yeah.
I mean, there could be something waiting for us down the line from that angle as well. But I thought it was fascinating with your documentary, No Farmers, No Food. I thought, you were talking to families that are on the cusp of losing their family farms, the generations, but the government says, no, you can totally stay in farming. You're just going to be down to like 6 or 8 cows. I hope you enjoy that. And, and then can I just say that is it Ireland, I think, that's mandating that they have to cut the cattle in that country by like down to a third or by a third? I don't know. It's just these mandates are worldwide, implemented on local levels, as you do a great job of illustrating in the movie. But I want to go back to that book that and I think you had this aha moment where you found, because we've talked about how green is the new red. Because ever since the fall of capitalism, I mean, Rush Limbaugh was great on laying this out long ago, as far as saying, look, when communism fell, they needed a new place to get their tentacles of control. And I thought in the movie, when you were reading that book by the Roman Club, it was what was the first global revolution? There it is. Yeah, we need a new justification for this all-powerful state. And you make it clear in there, you have excerpts from their own words. In searching for a new enemy to unite us, we came up with the idea that pollution, the threat of global warming, water shortages, famine, and the like would fit the bill. The real enemy, then, is humanity itself. These are shocking words, but they are in print. And if people would just take the time to learn, this evil plan is right there in black and white, literally.
Yeah. It's the same thing with the edible bugs, right? 10 years ago, they're like, well, we should get celebrities eating bugs on camera, and here it is. And same thing with the Club of Rome's first global revolution. Yeah, I was like, I couldn't believe it. That's why in the documentary we had that quote, and then we fast forwarded to today, the politicians, going exactly by that playbook, and the media is very complicit in this. I'm sure you've seen those compilations where, they put two pictures next to each other. It was like, a German weather forecast from a few years ago where, it's a green countryside, and it's like, well, it's 100 degrees here, it's 90 degrees here, and everything is like normal green. Yes. But today it's like everything is in red. It's like, the world is melting, but the temperatures are the same or even lower, right? Yep. So it's it's part, and that's exactly what we found, like digging into it. In the documentary, a lot of politicians weren't, for some reason, willing to speak with us on camera, but we went to the scientists and we dug through the actual literature, and every point, like the nitrogen issue in the Netherlands, right, or the organic fertilizer issue in Sri Lanka, like
that was amazing.
And it's like switching to organic is not going to solve your problem, and the nitrogen issue, it also won't solve anything regarding quote unquote nature. But as we dug into it more and more, I just suddenly had this like aha moment, like you mentioned. I'm like, oh, this isn't about the nitrogen or the clover in the countryside. This is really about centralized government control, and this is just the surface level manifestation to get the surface level excuse to get that top down government control.
And if we have to, look, a few humans are going to die, so. We just move on.
Got to break a few eggs to make an omelet.
Right.
More with Roman Balmakov coming up in just a minute on this Agenda 21 or 30 by 30, 2030 thing. But first, let me tell you about Real Estate Agents I Trust. These are the agents you turn to when you're, making the most important purchase of your life. Really, what do you spend more money on than your home? So these agents will see you through the entire process, start to finish. It's a stressful one. You need somebody who knows what they're doing and is not going to just continually do, say, an open house so you can keep your home immaculate and then leave it and let strangers tromp through it all the time. They have better marketing plans than that. These agents will get you through and get the most money for your home or the most home for your money. Maybe you're doing both because you're relocating. Go to realestateagentsitrust.com. Free service we provide to you as we set you up with these realtors. realestateagentsitrust.com.
Pat Gray. Join the conversation. 888-900-3393. Pat Gray Unleashed. We'll be right back.
Welcome, 888-900-3393. Pat Unleashed on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it today. We've got Roman Balmakov on the line talking about this Agenda 21 thing. They don't call it that anymore, really. It's the 30 by 30 initiative, something like that.
2030.
Yes. So,
but Pat, just in America, they rebranded it again. Now it's called the America is Beautiful initiative.
Really?
Oh, nice.
Who could be against the America is Beautiful initiative? We
These
all
people,
want that.
They're insidious.
Incredible. It's incredible. Can you give us an example, Roman, of how this is already being put into action? Are there things we're seeing that you can say, yep, there's something they're doing already?
You mean here in America?
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I believe it was less than a week. I think it was 6 days after Biden took office. He instituted the Agenda 30 by 30. That is the federal government's plan to put 30% of America's land into conservation by the year 2030. That's the plan that was recently rebranded to America the Beautiful.
Right. And he's doing that. I mean, he was out doing that to Indian lands and other farmers' lands already throughout his presidency, which has been great. But go ahead, Roman.
Yeah, super great, especially for the farmers who are getting kicked off their land, getting their water rights taken away. But it's a little bit funny because the way that the agenda manifests differs in different countries. Like in America, at the federal level, there's a lot of support for Agenda 2030 or our Agenda 30 by 30. And what they do is that they use the existing laws in the books. They use the Waters of the U.S. Act. They use the Endangered Species Act. They use the ability for the president to set up national monuments. They use something known as conservation easements, which is where you would come to, let's say, someone who owns a large plot of land, and you say, well, you're not allowed to develop this land moving forward, and in exchange, we'll give you a tax break, or we'll give you money every single year, or something like that. Right. They use these types of methods to lock up this land.
Interesting the dates on those as well. When right after the Rome Club got together. In 71 or 72, then we get these Clean Water Act and Endangered Species Act implemented on the books, so we can start using them years later. Interesting.
Yeah, I feel like you've uncovered something there, because it's not like you kind of, when you look at it, when you take a step back and look at it, you think, oh, it's a grand conspiracy that they're pulling the strings behind the scenes, and it might be the case. But it also might be the same way that the World Economic Forum works, right, with their Young Global Leaders program. All these people are ideologically aligned, whether that's a super strong federal government, a super strong international government, and or an environmental crisis to solve the problems that you would need a strong central government for, and then they go out into their separate countries and then implement those things. So I feel like it kind of like it works both ways. It's top down and bottom up.
Yeah. Speaking of the Water and the Endangered Species Act, they're already really doing that in spades in California, right? With these coho salmon they're trying to protect, and so. The coho salmon, I don't think, are even endangered, are they? And they were not indigenous to this waterway.
Yeah, and that picture right there that they just put up.
That's the evidence they have.
You're right, and we don't even know the backstory of that picture, right?
Right.
Yeah, I've never reported before in my life on an endangered species that I could then, in the same area, go to the local Costco and purchase to eat. And I was too with the coho salmon. I was at these people's ranches. They were telling me about the water rights that are getting taken away from them, the dams that are getting destroyed in order to have the coho salmon be able to swim there again. Although it's like you mentioned, it's dubious whether they ever swam there in the first place. But then our team can go to Walmart and Costco and actually buy this fish to eat because it's not technically endangered. It's only technically endangered in this part of the river. But that makes sense because the coho salmon is a coastal fish, so its natural habitat only extends like 30 miles out from the ocean. That's a perfect example of how they're using the fish in this example to take these people's water rights and therefore to take their land. Because without water, these people are naturally going to have to move away, and then the federal government can come in and take the land and put it into conservation.
Yeah, and then when you hear about, oh my gosh, the droughts are hurting the farmers in California, dig just a little bit deeper and see what is actually causing this. And this is the whole, right, think globally, act locally thing, where you get involved locally, and this is what the left has done so geniusly. Yes, they have. Right? And going after these kind of things, and they exercise their control. But one of the facts in the movie there is that how many people were killed as a result of nationwide famine during China's Great Leap Forward, right? Up to 55 million people. I mean, this isn't something to just screw around with and I guess it's going to be tough to find this kind of food or this or whatever. I mean, this has serious consequences, giving this kind of authority to governments over your food.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I really am hoping to achieve with this documentary, which is to kind of lift the veil of all these acronyms and all these obscure and arcane sounding names that obfuscate what's really happening and sort of penetrate for people what's going on. Because I'm sure your audience is very well aware of what's happening. I'm trying to reach like a more mainstream sort of normie audience who just comes home from work, watches football, kind of glances through the news, kind of understands that there's something going on between farmers and the environment, but they're naturally taking the side of the the environmental policies because that's what the news sides with, and so they're naturally going to go down that road. But what happened with China was a great sort of case study, because back then in the late 40s and early 50s, they had the Great Leap Forward campaign. That was Mao Zedong's campaign to sort of leapfrog the developed countries and sort of have China join the ranks of the U.S. and the U.K. by skipping a few steps of development and just leapfrogging into large industrial capacity. Basically, he took farmers out of the fields and had them produce children. Yeah.
More with Roman Balmakov from Epoch Times coming up in a minute on this agenda. It's chilling. You won't believe what they've already accomplished. It's incredible, and more of that on the way.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.
And thanks for joining us. Our Friday presentation of something unusual for you. And it's not really, this one isn't even really unusual because they're doing this kind of stuff every day. What's interesting is that a lot of people still don't know about Agenda 21 or 30 by 30, 2030 or whatever you want to call it today. Right. They keep changing the name. Well, Roman Balmakov joins us. And Roman, you said they changed the name again in America, right, to Keep America Beautiful or something. What is it?
Yeah, America the Beautiful.
America the Beautiful. How wonderful. Who could be opposed to that?
Right. That's a great way to sell it.
Some kind of litter free?
I better
Do you like
see
pollution?
that on
What's
the
your
side
deal?
of every electric bus in America.
Oh, you will.
I'll tell you that.
You will. I want to get into the Sri Lankan thing, but there's a couple of things still going on in this country that I want to get to first, Roman, with you. And that's one of these things is the global tax that's being proposed by Joe Biden. Already 130 countries have signed on to this global tax, and they pledge to set the corporate tax rates at not less than 15%, and they want to close loopholes internationally. I mean, how is it that America is okay with a tax coming from the UN? in addition to everything we're already paying to our government?
Yeah, that's that's a phenomenal question. I mean, I don't think this tax would be to the UN. I think it just sets the floor. But I mean, what'll inevitably happen is that countries that don't sign on to this agreement will have more businesses, going there. So I mean, it'll redistribute the wealth away from the U.S. So I mean, it makes very little
That's what
sense.
it's about. Yep.
Yeah,
That's what it's about.
Yeah, and real quick, I would encourage everyone, as far as food integrity, definitely keep an eye on Thomas Massey when it comes to Twitter, because he is constantly updating us on what's going on. This week has been very important about trying to protect our farmers in the food system. And he had a couple of victories with some amendments, but I noticed that one of the things that he didn't have a victory with was trying to stop the electronic cattle tag mandate, which basically is going to track cattle around the country, and it's all in the name of food safety. It's always under the name or the banner of something that it's not. And where this could become a problem is if eventually something like an mRNA vaccine for cattle becomes required. Well, then you could just easily scan the chip. This is how Massey described it on a Twitter Spaces. You could just scan it and see, has this cow had its shots? I mean, are we sure that this is falling in line? And the reason this is specifically important as far as getting, potential mRNA type stuff into cows and stuff, he had one of the things that he did get defeated was getting mRNA into like vegetables and stuff. Listen to this quote from this. This almost became a thing, y'all. The project's goal. So this would have been federal funding for putting mRNA stuff into like vegetables. UC Riverside is doing this stuff where it's like showing that the DNA containing the mRNA vaccines can be successfully delivered into the part of the plant cells where it will replicate, demonstrating the plants can produce enough mRNA to rival a traditional shot, and finally determining the right dosage. They're going to get this stuff into our bodies one way or another, Roman. Is that not your belief, that it's just it's inevitable at this point? Is it not?
Oh, if it continues down this road, for sure. I did a whole deep dive episode on that topic where there's a lot of money flowing into. There's a lot of success already in this scientific development of mRNA delivered through vegetables. Like that already is happening.
Jeez.
Pork, I believe pork has already been. Pigs have already been getting mRNA shots since 2018. Although, I'll say it this way: I don't know of any farmer that's getting them, but the mRNA shots have been on the market since 2018. And also Yale, we did another episode. Yale is developing a aerosol-based vaccine, so they were able to successfully vaccinate mice using mRNA vaccines that were delivered through the air. So,
Massey talked about spinach has already slipped into the system. And the company got fined for that had mRNA in the spinach. I mean, this is terrifying.
That's okay by me. Spinach never enters my body.
Me too.
They're not going to get me with that. Tell you that right now.
You know what?
Spinach,
you know what needs mRNA?
Kale are in the same. They're in the same category to me.
Thank you.
Roman, what's happening in Sri Lanka that you think is coming to the U.S.?
Yeah, Sri Lanka is a really interesting case study because, like I said, these organizations, they implement Agenda 21 in different countries using those countries' laws. Like here is the Endangered Species Act, the Waterways Act. And so in America, it's relatively difficult because you do have to kind of get people on board, whether it's electorally or you have to get them to agree to put their land into conservation through easements. In Sri Lanka, it's a different story because they're an actual socialist country. Which is funny. In the documentary, I mentioned at some point that, this country is not called Sri Lanka. It's officially called the People's Democratic Socialist Republic of Sri Lanka.
Jeez.
And so the president there was able to just make the switch right away. Overnight, he took out all the synthetic fertilizer from circulation, and he said that it's an organic mandate. You can only use organic. And he was praised, by the way, by the World Economic Forum and these different environmental groups. He was praised as being pretty much like at the forefront of saving the environment and of making the switch. But it completely devastated the country, off the charts. We went there a year after that change was made. and people are still getting half the crop they used to get.
Oh man!
And the people there are not like in America or the Netherlands where they have money in their pockets and they're good. I mean, this is a relatively poor country, so people were telling me they can't send their kids to school. They had their parents move back in with them. Man. They don't have enough food to eat. Well, actually, they're not able to buy like meat, but they of course have enough vegetables to eat, but they don't sell them. It's absolutely devastating. Farmers are killing themselves because they're just not able to. Oh, and they're also taking out a ton of bank loans. That was a whole other thing. It was too big to include in the documentary. But these predatory bank loans are coming in. And, I mean, people are just completely getting enslaved to the banking system because they're not able to pay the loans back. It's a disaster. It's a complete disaster.
What can we do about this? What can the rank and file Americans do to prevent the full implementation of this agenda?
Well, I would have 3 recommendations. One is that when the government comes to you and says, hey, that's a nice piece of land you got there, it would be nice if we put a conservation easement on it and we'll give you a tax break, you don't accept it. Because
say no.
Because what happens is you become part of this federal nexus, and once you're accepting federal dollars, you're beholden to a lot of other rules and regulations. By the way, this morning, I learned that Mar-a-Lago has a conservation easement on it.
Yeah.
Trump accepted it. He's not able to develop it. He has to keep it in the use that it is now. And that was one of the reasons why the judge valued it at only $18 million.
It's only worth like $18 or something now, so don't even worry about it.
So that was fascinating. So that's one thing. Like really be cautious about accepting any quote unquote free money from the government. And the second thing is the second thing would be like watch No Farmers, No Food, right? Our documentary.
Yeah.
And understand that because with the documentary, I hope to equip people with the language and the sort of nuanced understanding so that when they hear a politician speaking, especially when a young person hears a politician speaking, they go, oh, I know what's happening here. This sounds nice on paper, but actually underneath, the science probably doesn't back it up. It's part of this agenda to actually take over 30% of the land. It's like I'm not necessarily going to just agree with him wholeheartedly because the words sound nice. And by the way, it's a bipartisan issue. It's not just only Democrats. Republicans also push this stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah, I guess
George W. Bush actually was one of the presidents who introduced Agenda 21 most aggressively at the initial level. I mean, of course, Bill Clinton pushed it further into all the agencies, but HW definitely introduced it hard. So that would be my recommendation. Don't take free money from the government. Watch No Farmers, No Food, and be extremely critical and vote accordingly to what these politicians are saying.
And probably go to your local meetings that would
that's the thing.
On the surface seem boring, but that's where this stuff is being implemented in your local towns and counties. And you've got obviously the documentary No Farmers, No Food, Roman. You've been alluding to some other videos you do. Where can people go to see those things from you?
It's all on Epoch TV, epochtv.com. We're actually also, if you just want to go straight to the documentary, we're able to snatch up a phenomenal domain, nofarmersnofood.com.
Nice.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah. One last thing. I've been worried about an agenda that, seemed conspiratorial for a long time, and that's one world government. But isn't this just part of that effort?
Wow.
I mean, they're kind of sneaking all of this in through the back door.
I could not agree more with you. In fact, when I started the documentary, basically our teams here at the Epoch Times, we bit off a few different apples. Like somebody did a documentary on ESG. I did a documentary on this. Another group did a documentary on vaccine injuries and the trans ideology in schools. But what we found was it was amazing. The more you pull at these threads, it really all comes down to the same thing: more government control, more government having more and more control of our families and our kids' lives. Yeah, it all comes down to that. And you can imagine, okay, more a more centralized, strong control from the top. But if the ideology is that the world is ending unless we actually fix these systemic problems, well, that naturally translates to all these governments getting more power, and then there's a world central government. It sounds conspiratorial, but it's the natural trajectory that we're on.
Absolutely. Roman, thanks a lot. Thanks for all the hard work you do at Epoch Times, and thanks for joining us and waking people up to this situation. Hit us with the website again. It's pretty easy.
nofarmersnofood.com.
Okay. Thanks, Roman. Talk to you again. Do you have odors in your home that won't get away? I hope you don't have co-host Sam in your in your on your menu because these things are so well. They're not endangered, but damn it, they're not in one part of one river, and we want them there. So stop eating them. Okay,
I've got teenager smell in my house.
Oh man. Yeah, you gotta make that go away. Litter boxes, if you have litter box odor. If Jeffy has visited your home,
yeah,
you need the Eden Pure.
That's high
thunderstorm,
risk,
right?
To invite him over.
Yeah,
But for that one, you need 6 of them. We already made that. We need 6
in one room.
In one room, yeah.
Well, the good news is they're just easy. They're
Right.
easy to use, easy to install.
Have you heard about these before?
I have actually. Yeah.
Yeah, you just pop up the plug-in, you plug it into the wall, and you turn it on. Instantly, nobody knows Jeffy's been there. All right.
What if I was worried? Hey, do I need to change a filter?
You don't have to.
Oh my gosh!
There's no
what?
filter to change, Jeffy.
What?
That's amazing. There are no filters in this unit. You don't have any maintenance, and right now you can save $200 on 3 thunderstorm units under $200. 3 units under $200. Just go to EdenPureDeals.com. Enter the promo code PAT. That's Eden, EDEN. EdenPureDeals.com. Discount code PAT, and you get free shipping.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.
Here's the thing about all of this. The Agenda 21 stuff, everything else that's nefarious that's going on. These people aren't stupid.
No, they're not.
They're evil, but they're not stupid.
No, they're not.
And they've gone about this in such a subtle way, and they've made everything seem like a conspiracy and like you're crazy if you even have a concern about any of it, that they've been able to accomplish so much already behind our backs.
They sure have. And it's
under
not
the
really
radar.
behind our backs. It's just under the radar.
Yeah,
right?
it
I
is.
keep thinking
Right.
about that stupid video that what's his face did with the Pfizer guy.
James O'Keefe.
He catches up with the Pfizer guy, but he catches up with the Pfizer guy
where
coming out of a county commission meeting.
Exactly.
And I'm thinking the whole time I'm listening to this, I'm thinking that's where all these guys are.
Yeah,
That's where all these guys are.
That's why the think globally, act locally thing is so relevant right now. They are acting.
Yes, they
locally.
are.
Are we to counteract their?
Well, I mean.
Agenda? We're not enough.
No, we're the idiots that go out and work hard and
think everything's going to be okay.
And earn taxes for the government to go and fund this stuff that's getting passed. And to your point about how they're not stupid, they're smart. And to your point that they get involved in these areas. You know, that Roman club or the Club of Rome or whatever it is there. To your point earlier, I mean, they've been around since 1968. So this is intergenerational. This isn't just a group of elites that just dropped here 5 minutes ago. This is over time. They have got such a destructive agenda that they weave it in here and they gather disciples and then train up the next generation to destroy.
I wanted to talk to Roman a little bit more about, and we didn't have time, but when he talked about the side group at the World Economic Forum, called the Iliads or whatever the acronym was. I mean, that's the same thing, man. Those people aren't voted in anywhere. Those people have no ties to
They don't have to
anything.
answer to anybody.
Right. They just, you know what we need to do is these people over here, they don't need to use fertilizer. And, a bunch of them will starve to death.
I mean,
whatever.
You know, we in the past, we've been so naive to think that everybody just wants a good quality of life for everyone else, right? You know, hell no, they don't. They want to destroy us. They want to destroy your way of life.
Some breaking news here. Dianne Feinstein just died.
Oh, for real?
For real.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she passed away at the age of 90.
Sad.
That is sad.
She have COVID?
Not that I know of.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know. I don't know that for a fact.
Okay.
We know she was struggling. We know she was, she had a hard time. None of us wished her ill.
No.
We just
didn't want
wished her out of the Senate because she's obviously compromised.
So here's what's probably happening behind the scenes right now. The Democrats that wanted Gavin Newsom to swoop in and run for president against Biden, they're having
who
to
gets
now
the Senate
they're
seat?
having to now field or the people that want him to back off.
Can we risk?
Are saying, can we offer you a Senate seat
Right.
so you won't challenge the president here?
Right. And the answer to that will be no, because he's got his aspirations fixed in a different place.
Yeah, he's got that debate scheduled with Hannity as the moderator against Ron DeSantis.
Yeah, when is that? November?
November 30th. Do you want to see what Ron DeSantis said after the debate the other night here? Okay, watch this.
And you know what? Maybe we can say, since the former president didn't come here, maybe he'd be willing to do one with you and I. I think he owes it to our voters to come and make the case.
You're now challenging. So this is going to be Hannity one-on-one debate.
Let's do it. Let's do it, right?
I'll do anything. I'll ask him.
Here's the thing, though. You owe it to the voters to come and make the case. No one's entitled to anything. You can say, some poll months before. No, you got to make the case. You got to owe it to the voters. So I'm going to show up everywhere. I think that's what we were able to do.
I like Ron putting Sean on the spot, though.
Throw the gauntlet down.
Yeah,
put him right on the spot, man, live
And,
on
and,
the air.
and notice, Sean doesn't say, "Hey, we'll reach out to him." I'll ask him.
Yeah, I'll ask him.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I mean, hey, you know what? If one of the things that Trump says in avoiding these debates is too many people on the stage, well, how about one-on-one with the top challenger on your side?
Yeah.
I'd like to see that.
I would love to see that. So we won't, but I would love
No,
to.
we won't. No, we won't.
We won't see that.
We won't. I don't need to do that with the sanctimonious.
He shortened it now.
Yeah.
It's just DeSantis.
Just DeSantis.
Sanctimonious. Too many syllables.
Sorry.
Okay. DeSantis.
Sorry. I apologize.
Short and sweet. All right. Maybe it's since it's been pretty heavy load on this Friday, maybe we just show some fun things, some nice things, like this video of a dog saving a girl
good
from a kidnapping situation. At least it looks like
this is how
it.
we're sneaking animal videos in on the show now.
Oh, we're totally sneaking animal videos.
But is this from a Ring video?
No, this is the guy goes through it for us.
Okay.
Crazy things caught on camera. Someone was reviewing their security cam footage from this alley behind their house, and they noticed this girl in a red coat wearing a backpack, and she runs off of camera, and she looks terrified. Look, she looks absolutely terrified. So they rewound the video, and they found something crazy. So as she's walking along by herself in this alley, this car is going to pull up. The door opens up, and a man, you can see right there with the hood on, gets out, and he starts to make a move to grab her. She backs up, and she looks absolutely terrified. Now, this is where it gets interesting, because the car is going to back up and try to nab her out of the aisle by herself. And you're going to see this dog comes out of nowhere, absolutely nowhere, comes up aggressively barking at the driver of the car,
Nice.
scares the driver off, and saves this little girl's life potentially.
Wow.
How cool
Now
is that?
the other dog
was doing nothing.
Walked away.
Right.
At the end of
Which
that,
dog are you, America?
I'm the guy. I'm the dog that's on the aisle and goes.
You got this.
You got it.
You got it. He's got
At the
it.
end,
Fido's
watch,
got this.
Now watch, at the end here, after this dog has done the work, the car starts driving away, and the other dog walks away. Good, it's over.
And the other dog was in better position because he was there the whole time just watching.
All right,
I'm out of here.
I'm out.
Funny.
That's awesome.
That's a feel good. I like that.
Maybe the second dog. Maybe the second dog was the lookout for the van.
Look out!
very possible.
Okay,
Yeah, very
okay.
possible.
He's like, I'm not a part of this. This went south. Yeah. So Tyler Morgan sent me this really cool story there about the cat that climbed into this room in California. It's not a video. Relax. No, it's right. It's to Pat's left.
It's just a photo.
Yeah.
Let's see the photo. There's a photo.
Okay.
That's in the 60s, all right? They took
Cat's
a picture.
asleep.
Yeah, and the name of that cat is Room 8 because that's the room that the cat just crawled through the window on.
Huh. Neighborhood cat that just wandered into a classroom. In 1952, Elysian Heights Elementary School in Echo Park, California, lived in the school during the school year and then disappeared in the summer.
How cool is that?
Returning to when classes started back up. This pattern continued without interruption until the mid-1960s. So from 52 to the 1960s, cat did the same thing.
Yeah,
That's a well-fed cat, too.
Yeah, that's why he kept showing up.
No
Right.
kidding. It's
I don't have to do anything. I just hang out in room 8 and eat.
I bet the kids loved that.
Jeffy of cats right there.
News cameras would arrive at the school at the beginning of the year waiting for the cat's return. he became famous and would receive up to 100 letters a day addressed to him at the school.
That is wild.
I don't think he read any of them. So your letters went completely unanswered.
Which speaks to the public school system. He's in school every day.
Yeah,
never
and you
learned
didn't
to
learn
read.
how to...
Bro.
We don't know if he's just rude or he never learned how to write. I don't know, but it's
opposable thumbs is the issue, I think.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. So what, do they paint a mural and stuff?
We're not asking him to grab things. We're asking him to read.
Yeah, just to write,
So there was a children's book that came out, A Cat Called Roommate.
Yeah, and now today there's like a shelter, an animal shelter named after him. It's just a really
Look
cool
magazine
thing.
ran a 3-page roommate feature by photographer Richard Hewitt in November 1962. Titled Roommate, The School Cat. Leo Kottke wrote an instrumental called Roommate that was included in his 1971 album Mudlark, which I can't get enough of.
I love Leo Kottke.
I played Mudlark, the album, so often that I
Favorite
wore
track.
a hole into it.
Favorite track. Tell us.
Roommate was my favorite by far.
Roommate, yeah.
By
Hello.
far. I loved Roommate.
Yeah, okay.
I do like Leo Kottke.
The needle wore a hole in the vinyl. I couldn't play it anymore.
Just on Roommate.
So if you ask me now, I don't have it anymore, but I did.
Well, now you just listen to it on Spotify.
Right.
It's easier that way. Right.
Yeah, go check my list right now. You'll see Roommate somewhere in there.
Okay, well let's do it right now. We got time. Let's open it up.
No, I don't have it on my phone. It's
What?
on my iPad. Yeah, it's on my iPad.
Okay.
So then we have this feel-good story. This is so great. From this 8-year-old kid.
Okay. Put the ransom note up or whatever, the threatening letter.
Here's the threatening letter that a dad received that's frightening.
Oh, yeah.
Joel Berry, urgent, E-R-G-E-N-T, mail. Urgent mail. Open immediately.
Awesome.
Dear Joel Berry.
For your kids,
you must let them watch Iron Man tonight.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Or what happens?
Or you'll be killed.
Oh, no. Did that work?
It actually did. They watched Iron Man that night. So.
Pat Gray, the Blaze Radio Network.